High blood pressure is one of the most dangerous conditions I see in my medical practice. Not because it causes immediate pain, but because it works quietly in the background for years before striking without warning. I have treated patients who felt perfectly fine, who were active, independent, and living normal American lives, until one morning they woke up with a stroke or collapsed from a heart attack. That is why high blood pressure is often called a silent threat. It slowly damages blood vessels, stiffens arteries, and forces the heart to work harder every minute of the day, even when you are resting on your couch or sleeping in your own bed. Over time, this constant pressure dramatically increases the risk of heart attacks, strokes, kidney failure, and early death. Many people believe that if their blood pressure is only a little high, or if it occasionally spikes, it is not a big deal. That belief is dangerous. Research shows that even small increases in the top blood pressure number significantly raise long-term health risks. The good news is that blood pressure is highly responsive to lifestyle changes, especially movement. For decades, exercise has been one of the most reliable tools we have to bring blood pressure down naturally. But here is where things are changing. New research is showing that not all exercise works the same way, and that some forms of movement can deliver powerful results in far less time than most people expect. This is critical for busy adults and older Americans who may not have the energy, joints, or motivation for long workouts. When we understand which types of exercise give us the greatest benefit with the least strain, we can protect our hearts more effectively and realistically, right inside our own homes. When people ask me what kind of exercise is best for lowering blood pressure, the honest answer used to be simple: move more. For years, we grouped all exercise into one bucket and assumed the benefits were roughly the same. Recent research has finally allowed us to look deeper, and what we are learning is both surprising and encouraging. Large studies have now compared different types of exercise head-to-head to see how they affect blood pressure. These studies looked at 4 main categories of movement: aerobic exercise such as brisk walking, jogging, or cycling; dynamic resistance exercise like squats, push-ups, or weight training; isometric exercise where muscles are tensed without moving, such as planks or holding a squat against a wall; and finally, programs that combine cardio and strength training. When researchers pooled the results from dozens of high-quality trials, they found something reassuring. All of these forms of exercise lowered blood pressure in a meaningful way. On average, people saw the top blood pressure number drop by about 7 points, which is a real and medically important change. At first glance, no single category seemed clearly better than the others. But a closer look told a different story. Another major analysis published more recently added one more exercise type, high-intensity interval training, and ranked each approach by how much it actually lowered blood pressure. Surprisingly, the intense workouts many people fear were not the most effective. The strongest and most consistent results came from isometric exercises, especially those that required holding tension for a short period of time. When the data was broken down further, one simple movement stood out above the rest. Wall squats produced some of the largest blood pressure reductions seen in any exercise trial. This matters because wall squats require no equipment, no gym membership, and very little time. For people with joint pain, limited stamina, or busy schedules, this kind of exercise can fit easily into daily life. The takeaway from this research is not that other exercises are useless. Walking, lifting weights, and cycling all help. The real lesson is that certain types of muscle tension send a particularly strong signal to the blood vessels, encouraging them to relax and function more efficiently. Understanding this allows us to choose exercise more strategically Not harder, but smarter, to protect our hearts. One question that naturally comes up when people hear about these studies is why wall squats, of all things, would have such a powerful effect on blood pressure. As a doctor, this actually makes a lot of sense when you look at how the body responds to sustained muscle tension. When you hold a position like a wall squat, your muscles are working continuously without moving. That steady tension sends a strong signal through your nervous system and blood vessels. In response, your blood vessels learn to relax more efficiently once the effort stops, which helps lower resting blood pressure over time. What surprised many researchers is that this effect shows up even when the total exercise time is very small. In some studies, people were only doing about 30 minutes of isometric exercise spread across an entire week. Yet the blood pressure reductions were similar to, or even better than, much longer workout programs. This is where the idea of exercise snacks becomes so valuable, especially for people living busy or physically limited lives. Instead of carving out a long block of time to go to the gym, you can break movement into short, manageable pieces throughout the day. A couple of wall squats while waiting for coffee to brew, another set during a work break, and one more in the evening can add up without ever feeling overwhelming. I use this approach myself during long clinic days, and I recommend it often to patients who feel intimidated by traditional workouts. The beauty of wall squats is that they are simple, quiet, and accessible. You don't need special shoes, machines, or even much space. You can do them at home, in an office, or even in a hotel room. Another reason wall squats stand out is that they work large muscle groups in the legs, which play a major role in blood flow and circulation. When these muscles engage, they help push blood back toward the heart more effectively, reducing strain on the cardiovascular system. This is especially helpful for older adults who may not tolerate high-impact exercise or fast movements. It's also important to understand why different studies sometimes seem to disagree. Research that focuses only on people with high blood pressure often shows that many exercise types work similarly well. But when studies include people with normal blood pressure too, the unique strength of isometric exercises becomes clearer because they lower blood pressure even in people who start at healthy levels. That tells us these exercises are powerful regulators, not just treatments. The practical takeaway is simple. You don't have to choose between being active and being realistic. Wall squats and other short bursts of muscle tension allow you to fit meaningful blood pressure control into real life, without exhaustion, pain, or complicated routines. If you want to use wall squats to lower your blood pressure safely and effectively, the way you do them matters just as much as doing them at all. I often tell patients that this exercise should feel challenging but controlled, never painful or forced. Start by standing with your back flat against a sturdy wall, feet about shoulder width apart, and positioned roughly 1 to 2 feet away from the wall. Slowly slide your back down until your thighs are angled downward and your knees are bent, but not pushed forward past your toes. Your lower legs should stay mostly vertical, with your knees stacked above your ankles. This position protects your joints and ensures the work is happening in the muscles, not the knees. Your back should stay in contact with the wall the entire time, shoulders relaxed, head neutral, and eyes looking straight ahead. The most important part is finding the right depth. You do not need to sink into a deep squat. Instead, adjust your height so the effort feels like about a 4 out of 10. At that level, you should feel your legs working steadily, but you should also feel confident that you could hold the position for up to 2 minutes if needed. Once you find that spot, hold it. Focus on slow breathing through your nose and out through your mouth. Do not hold your breath. Your breathing should stay calm and rhythmic, even though your legs are working. A good starting goal is to hold the position for about 1 to 2 minutes, then stand back up slowly and rest for another 1 to 2 minutes. During the rest, stay standing or walk around lightly. Avoid sitting immediately, as gentle movement helps your circulation adjust smoothly. After resting, repeat the wall squat for another round. Most people do well with 3 to 4 total holds in one session. If it feels too easy, slide a little lower next time. If it feels too hard, move a little higher. Small adjustments make a big difference. One of the advantages of wall squats is that they are easy to scale to your body on any given day. Some days you may feel stronger. Other days you may need to back off slightly. That flexibility is a strength, not a weakness. You can spread these sets throughout the day instead of doing them all at once. One in the morning, one midday, and one in the evening can be just as effective as doing them back to back. This approach fits naturally into real life. You can do a set while waiting for coffee, during a break from work, or before dinner. Consistency matters far more than intensity. Over time, as your legs get stronger and your body adapts, many people notice the position feels easier, and their blood pressure readings begin to trend downward. If you ever feel sharp pain, dizziness, or chest discomfort, stop and rest. Wall squats should feel like steady effort, not strain. For most people, especially those with joint concerns or limited time, this exercise provides a rare combination of safety, simplicity, and powerful benefit. When done correctly and consistently, it sends a clear signal to your blood vessels to relax and function better, helping your blood pressure move in a healthier direction without complicated equipment or exhausting workouts. When people ask me whether lowering blood pressure by just a few points is really worth the effort, my answer is always the same. Those few points can change the entire course of your health. This is not theory. It's something I've seen play out in real lives over and over again. Even a drop of 5 to 10 points in the top blood pressure number can dramatically reduce the risk of heart attacks and strokes. Large studies following thousands of adults have shown that lowering blood pressure by around 10 points can cut the risk of stroke by more than 40% and significantly lower the chance of heart disease. That is not a small benefit. That is life-changing. This is why simple habits like wall squats matter so much. They are not about fitness for fitness's sake. They are about protecting your brain, your heart, and your independence. I want you to think about blood pressure not as a single number you chase, but as a signal of how well your body is coping with daily stress. Every time you help your blood vessels relax, you are reducing wear and tear that would otherwise build up quietly over years. My personal advice is to stop waiting for the perfect plan and start with what you can do today. If you are already walking, keep walking. Movement of any kind is always better than none, but add something small and powerful on top of that. Pick a wall in your home and commit to one wall squat hold today. Just one. See how your legs feel, notice your breathing, and stand back up slowly. Tomorrow, do it again. Within a week, add a second hold. You do not need to exhaust yourself. You do not need special equipment. You do not need to be young or athletic. What you need is consistency. I also encourage you to pair this habit with awareness around diet, because exercise is only one part of the picture. Many Americans are low in key nutrients that help blood vessels relax naturally, and improving that through food choices can amplify the benefits of movement. Simple steps like eating more fruits, vegetables, beans, and whole foods can support the same systems that wall squats activate. The reason I am confident recommending this approach is because it respects real life. It works whether you are busy, tired, dealing with joint pain, or simply unmotivated by traditional workouts. It fits into the day you already have. If you care about staying healthy, avoiding medications when possible, or making the ones you take work better, this is a place to start. Small actions done consistently send powerful messages to your body. Your blood vessels listen, your heart responds, and over time, those small daily choices add up to fewer emergencies, fewer scares, and a much greater chance of living the life you want, with energy and confidence for many years to come. As a doctor, the most important lesson I have learned about blood pressure is that small, consistent actions protect lives far more effectively than extreme measures taken too late. High blood pressure rarely announces itself with pain or warning signs. It quietly strains the heart and blood vessels day after day, until one morning it shows up as a stroke, a heart attack, or a sudden loss of independence. That is why I encourage people to stop thinking of blood pressure as a number to fear and start thinking of it as something they can influence every single day with realistic choices. Movement remains one of the strongest tools we have, but the newer research is reminding us that how we move matters more than how hard or how long we move. You do not need to run miles, punish your joints, or spend hours in a gym to make a meaningful difference. Even simple forms of movement can send powerful signals to your blood vessels to relax and function better. Studies comparing different types of exercise show that all movement helps, but exercises that involve holding gentle muscle tension, like wall squats, can produce surprisingly strong reductions in blood pressure with very little time commitment. This is especially important for older adults, busy professionals, and anyone who struggles to stay consistent with long workouts. My personal advice is to build blood pressure control into the life you already live. If you walk, keep walking. Walking supports your heart, mood, and overall health, but add 1 or 2 short exercise snacks to your day. A wall squat while waiting for coffee, another during a break, and one in the evening can add up to powerful protection over time. The key is not intensity, it is consistency. Listen to your body, breathe steadily, and stop before anything feels painful or forced. I also remind my patients that numbers matter because they represent risk, not because they define who you are. Lowering the top blood pressure number by even 5 to 10 points can dramatically reduce the chance of stroke and heart disease. That means the effort you put into small daily habits is not wasted. It is directly protecting your brain and your heart. Pairing movement with simple nutrition choices makes the effect even stronger. Eating more fruits, vegetables, beans, and whole foods gives your blood vessels the support they need to respond to exercise. You do not need perfection. You need a plan you can actually follow. Start today with one small action. Pick a wall. Hold a comfortable squat for a minute or two. Breathe. Repeat tomorrow. Over time, those quiet moments of effort add up to steadier blood pressure, fewer health scares, and more confidence moving through your day. That is how lasting change happens, and it is well within your reach.